Howdy folks, welcome to the show. I apologize for being late. I'll explain a lot of that at the end. I'll get the game over with first, and then I'll explain how background's different. There's a ring light now. I hate technology even more right now. This is take 4, all because of technological issues. I hate technology, but I felt it was important to get another video out, because even though I'm late and it's 1:43 in the morning, it's important to be consistent, and consistency is the way to success, and consistency was not on display for the Oilers against the Blues on Thursday night. There was some good moments, some really, really bad moments, and some the first period started pretty well for the Oilers. They had 2 really glorious chances, and both of those chances were executed very well, and both of those chances Binnington saved. So it's like, oh, great. This is the Binnington we're getting. We're getting the one that can steal a game. He very well could have stole the game, and I think if we played better, he would have. He still had a great night and a heavy night, but I wouldn't say he was the big key. He was a big key to success for the Blues, but it wasn't just him on display. So again, first period, eventually the Blues get on the board first, but the Oilers reply with 2 of their own. Draisaitl scores, and then Nugent Hopkins scores with under 30 seconds left in the first period. And it's usually pretty demoralizing for a team to allow a goal at the end of a period or at the beginning of the period. And the Blues, well, they were clearly demoralized by that, because they scored at the beginning of the second and the third and the end of the second. They scored 4 goals actually during the second period, even though the shots were only 15-14 for the Blues. The Oilers had some decent chances. It's just when we had a decent chance, Binnington saved it. When the Blues had a decent chance and we gave them a lot of decent chances, Skinner didn't save it. And I'll get to Skinner. But there was also the fact that the Blues scored 2 power play goals. The latter 2 of the 4 goals were both power play goals, and it was just a ugly night for discipline on the Oilers, and that would persist in the third period, because even though Corey Perry would score his first goal, he also had his first fight in the game, or for the Oilers. And when I mean first goal, it was for the Oilers as well. The first fight was more of a fight. It was just more of a tug and push kind of thing. But whatever. Good for Corey Perry. Now that's Cody Ceci and Corey Perry scoring before Connor Brown. So just gotta feel bad for him. Or maybe even it turns to anger too as well. But all he can do is just keep on and work harder. Or maybe that's the problem, he's working too hard. I don't know. I'm not in his mind. I can only speculate, but I'll focus on the game at hand. So with the Corey Perry goal, that brings us within 2. You could score 2 goals. You can pull the goalie, but eventually the Blues score and an empty net goal, and the game ends 6-3. So there are some positives from the game. The Oilers did outshoot the Blues 38-30. So getting 38 shots was pretty good, but there is the reason for the fact that we got so many shots, because we needed those shots more than the Blues did. And again, I'll get to goaltending. We allowed a lot of good chances. The forward lines just kind of broke down, including the top line of Hyman, Nuge, and McDavid, which is very unfortunate, because that line was the best line in the league. But that line broke down, and Knobloch tried a lot of different combinations, both among the forward and defensive cores in the third period, just trying to find some kind of spark. and if there was a spark, it was short-lived or too late. Um, and maybe there was too many lineup changes, but at the end of the day, it probably wouldn't have changed anything. The Oilers lost 6-3, as mentioned. Blues, as soon as the second period started, controlled the game, and the Oilers couldn't really get back into it. And a lot of this because they shot their own foot a lot of times. They took a lot of penalties. The Blues had 8 power play opportunities. 8! Yay! They only got 2 power play goals. Woohoo! That's still 16 minutes, potentially. It wasn't exactly 16 minutes because, when you score a goal, you don't get all 2 minutes. But, that's up to 16 minutes where you're not generating offense, usually. And the Oilers didn't have a shorthanded point. So, no, they weren't generating offense. That's almost an entire period where you have to sit in your own zone and expend a lot of energy to prevent the Blues from scoring. And so 6 for 8, 75%, that's not bad. We have higher expectations, but, you could work with that. But again, 16 minutes, not exactly, but up to potentially 16 minutes where you are in your own zone, that's not okay at all. I was a little surprised that it wasn't Nurse or Cece that are getting, or not Cece, Nurse or Draisaitl getting all of the pissy and undisciplined penalties, but so good for them. Again, gotta be positive. And there is positives because I am still doing the Stars video. It's not part of this video. I'll record it right after, assuming technology doesn't hate me even more. I want to go into a tangent on how much I hate technology, but point is, we gave the Blues the game, and that's not to discredit the Blues. They obviously won the game. That's what matters. They did well to take advantage of our chances, and even if they didn't, Binnington very well could have saved the game. So, bit of an extra note after the game. The Calgary Sharks game was on, and I decided to tune in for a good chunk of it. And it was weird in that I wanted Calgary to win because I do want Calgary to do good, just not too good, and just not against the Oilers. But so I was, at first I was like, dang it, the Flames are losing to the Sharks, and they eventually lost 6-3 to the Sharks. And then I was like, oh, they lost to the Sharks, suckers. It's kind of like, did help me feel better. So thank you for having my back, Calgary, that night. I still wanted you to win. And I wanted you to win today, too, but that was... This is not a Flames video. I didn't watch the game, so I can't say much to it, but 5-0, I imagine, not a lot one, right? That's me getting sidetracked. Point is, it was a pretty demoralizing loss. Skinner, when you only save 24 of 29, that's a bad game. But the reason I wouldn't call it horrible, because I really couldn't pick one and say, yeah, Skinner should have had that. All of them were like, that was either a highlight reel save or going in the back of the net, and most of the time it went in the back of the net. So, yeah, it just not much to compliment, though Nurse Cece pairing was very good, actually. The bane of my existence and lots of Oilers' existence was that line last year, and this year they've been much better in the new defensive system, and they were very good that night. The defense as a whole, because it's not just two players, it's not just your defense, it's also your forwards, was not good. But those two were a bright star, but neither of them were in my 3 stars. The first star was McDavid. He was pretty disappointing in the defensive zone. He was on for all of them except maybe one, including one of the power play goals. Though I don't think all of them were his fault. It's just when that keeps happening, there is going to be concern. I'm not going to say, well, it's okay because they weren't his fault. No, it's not okay when you're on for 3 or 4 goals, unless you're the goalie, and that's a different conversation. But he's not the goalie; he's a forward, and yeah, he's not a defenseman. But whatever, he still had 3 assists on the night, and that's still better than a lot of guys. Actually, everybody else on the Oilers. So he was still our best player that night on a night that really wasn't his best, outside of creating opportunities for his teammates. Second star was Draisaitl. He also had an assist. The Oilers played very well when he was on the ice. He had 13 minutes of even strength time, in which the Oilers controlled 81.3% of the shots. That is very good numbers, and that another number for that is the Oilers controlled 90% of expected goals during those 13 minutes. It was 12 minutes and 58 seconds, but whatever. So he was pretty good. And then I decided to give the third star to Kulak. He had a heavier night. He played just under 20 minutes of time on ice, so that's 5 more than his usual. 17 minutes and 20 seconds of those were even strength, and during those 17 minutes and 20 seconds, the Oilers controlled 67.9% of the shots and 2/3 of the expected goals, and Kulak added an assist. He assisted, let me scroll up, Corey Perry's goal. I didn't have to scroll up, actually, it was just there. I just had to look up. But whatever, anyways, so good on him. Stone Plain boy, local guy. So good on those 3 guys. Well, it's hard to say good on McDavid, but he did have 3 assists, so I can't really take away the first star from him. It's just, he was on for a lot of goals against, but whatever. Anyways, so disappointing night. But you got to have these losses to go out and win a game, right? And spoiler alert, but you probably already know the Oilers won, and I will do that video right after I press this button, and I will hopefully see you in that one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I earned your like, comment, and hopefully not your comment, earned a comment from you, and I hope I earned a subscription. But until then, I'm going to record the next video. Thank you again. Bye-bye.